Hi, guys.
Hi.
Happy Sunday. Can you turn that off?
Yeah.
Um, so it's Sunday, as always, and we have our little relationship talks. Um, we usually come up with this content throughout the week, but when we sit down and have our date nights on Saturday or Sundays, we kind of talk through what's been coming up, what's been really resonating with us. So hi, Christine. Kayla, hi. Hi, Dana. So we're going to be talking about three really important things for life, for business, and for relationships. And that's self-love, self-care, and self-confidence. What's up, Rob? And the things that we're going to go over tonight, we encourage you not only to stay on with us the entire time we're talking, because you're going to take some stuff away from this. We encourage you to share this with friends, with family, private groups that you're in, on your personal page, because there are so many people that are struggling every single day with one, two, or all three of these things that we're going to talk about tonight. So hey, Tom. Hi, Debbie. So the first thing that we wanted to talk about, we have cue cards for everything. I don't mean to block your face, Nancy. I'll block mine too. Self-love. Self-love. And this is something that I'm very passionate about. I've spoken on this various occasions for companies about how self-love can basically change your life personally, but also professionally. What's up, Matt? Walter? Hi, Christine. So there are three things that we wanted to talk about with self-love. And number one is honoring who you are. So, ladies first, honoring who you are.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, we have some awesome things to go over tonight, and we like to talk about stuff that we talk about over the dinner table, kind of. And honor who you are as part of self-love, I think, is so incredibly important, because for so long, just sharing my story, like, I was so insecure and so afraid of being myself, which, I mean, those of you who know me, I'm like super goofy. I'm super like just cheesy, geeky, whatever. But I was so afraid to be myself, whether it was relationships, with friendships, with everybody. And I always came across as like super, maybe, I don't know, shy, awkward, goofy, whatever. But I was never truly myself. And I was always worried about what other people thought. And I just didn't let my true self out. And it wasn't until recently, like honestly within the last year, that I'm literally like, here's me, here's who I am, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. So I think it's really cool, and it's something that we wanted to share because, Scott has a similar story that, we both kind of like took a while to kind of get into our own and become who we really are, and really appreciated that.
What was the quote that you said that you read about? Like your true friends or people that really love you.
It's
Just listen to the.
I'm trying to think if I remember it, but
when people talk about you.
Yeah, so it was a quote that resonated with me. Is your true friends are the people who defend you and say nice things about you when someone else says something behind your back. So behind closed doors, your true friends are the people who actually defend you and say nice things about you.
Well, that also comes back to honoring who you are, because the fact is I just want to say hi to everyone that's jumping on. What's up, Trav, Sarah, Melissa, Harry. Hi, Lisa, Vin. What's up, brother? Going through the personal development journey that I've been going on is that, the egoic mind will try to take over at times. But when you honor who you are, and when you understand that there are 50% of the time people are going to like you, 50% of the time people are not going to like you. People are going to have issues with you. They're going to have problems with you. They're going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do with how they feel. So when I was fully able to understand, and it's still a battle, like you still go through it, when you can fully sit in in who you are and knowing that you're on this path, and there are going to be people that challenge you, and they're going to shove you. They're going to push you a little bit. They're going to, I'm going to talk about you here, and I'm going to do this. People, and flat out, people are going to talk shit all the time. They are. People are going to talk shit on you, whether you, like right now, somebody's talking shit on me and someone's talking shit on her. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's the truth. And that's okay, because this comes back to what Nancy said. The people that defend you and love you and honor you, even when you're not in the presence of that person, when someone is trying to talk down on you, those are your true friends. Those are the ones that honor you for who you are. Being unapologetic, not caring what other people think, because it doesn't matter. And Danielle says, extremely true. People talk about you behind your back. They are not friends. Even if you do nothing. Danielle, absolutely. What's up, Zach? Scott? Guy, what's up, my brother? Good to see you on here. Doug, what's up? So number one, with self-love, honor who you are and never apologize for it. Number two, and this is also one of my favorites, and that's being perfectly imperfect. And is it okay if I start on this one?
Yeah.
So I love being perfectly imperfect, because the fact is this. Sorry, the dogs are trying to make a fake bed out of a comforter. Being perfectly imperfect, like there is no such thing as the perfect relationship, the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, the perfect person. None of that exists. When you can understand that being perfectly imperfect is actually perfection, when you can understand that you will have flaws. Hi, Jode. Hi, Kelly. You will have hiccups. You will have missteps. You will have failures. You're going to hit bumps in the road. When you can fully understand and you can lean into the power of the fact that you are going to be perfectly imperfect, it just takes yourself to the next level, because then you don't have anything to prove to anyone, because it's okay if you mess up, because there's a lesson learned in everything. So striving for perfection is actually striving to let yourself down, because when you realize there is no perfect, it's just perfectly imperfect, just the way that it is, you end up succeeding a lot more than you actually realize. You're going to have to say something here.
So the notes that I wrote like tonight, and we always talk about this stuff over dinner. We're like, what are we going to talk about tonight? On Sundays. And perfectly imperfect, what I thought about was how funny it is. Like my whole life growing up, I looked at movie stars and I looked at like people who I thought were like, oh my gosh, like Brad Pitt and like Angelina Jolie, like, certain things. And I was watching an Instagram story tonight, and it was John Legend's wife.
Yep.
Chrissy Teigen.
Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah, and it was like she was putting her baby down and she was making comments.
Baby talk.
And I just thought about it. I'm like, man, everybody is just like, we're just human beings. We're all just doing our thing. No one's perfect. And I read a quote the other day, and it was about relationships, and it really like hit true to me, because my whole life, right? Like you're taught like, oh, these fairy tales and these love stories that like, the perfect person who is like, perfect in every way and whatever. I don't care who you are. There's no perfect person.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their thing, or there's going to be days where it's a little harder than others and you're going to have to figure it out. Like there have been quotes that have been kind of like reoccurring, and there's a few, and maybe I'll think about them before we're done, but like the perfect person isn't out there, but find someone who you genuinely get along with. You're on the same path. You can totally talk to, you can be friends, and you can go on this journey together and not expect perfection, because no one's freaking perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I have horrible days. Scott has bad days. We both have bad days. We have shit that we deal with. That's okay. No one's perfect. And I think that goes with, again, movie stars, whatever we talk about. just be perfectly imperfect. Understand that you don't have to be perfect to be awesome.
So the one thing I just want to, outside of the people that are on here, just on here, but I'm talking directly at my network marketing friends right now. And this is something that I said to Nancy. I said, when you go to events for your network marketing company and people are highlighted and all the famous people in your network marketing business because everyone knows them. So what I said to Nancy was, I said, you take that person and you pick them up and you put them in New York City somewhere, walking down the street. They are just like any other person walking one foot in front of the other. But what we tend to do as people, we put people on pedestals just because of who we think they are. And the fact is, those people wipe their asses, they go to the bathroom, they drive cars, they pay bills, they go to the grocery stores, they eat healthy, they take care of themselves, they raise their kid, they're saving for retirement. They do all the things that everybody else does. It's just when you go to certain events, it's under a microscope. So if you don't think that any of these people that it looks like life is like all fine and dandy, they don't have shit just like the rest of us, you're just kidding yourself. No matter how good life is, it is good. But if you think that you're by yourself in your situation, if you think you're struggling with money, you're struggling in a relationship, and those people at some point in their life didn't struggle in a relationship and weren't having money problems, they're just like you and me. It's just they're on a different part of their journey. Every day we're waking up and we're writing a new chapter to our life story. It's just sometimes you're on chapter 4, and when you go to an event, you're looking at someone else's chapter 18. So your book is still being written, right?
Yeah.
My voice is getting really high. Okay, anyway. Hi, Annette. Number 3, and this is probably the biggest one in my eyes, is if you can't love you, can't love anybody else.
Yeah,
Nancy.
I think I can take this one. I mean, I talked about a little nugget earlier. But yeah, seriously, like I was so insecure and so self-conscious that I couldn't fully really give anyone my full attention or full relationship or all that I could be because I didn't love myself. I didn't think I was that great and I didn't really fully get how awesome I was so that I could actually share that with other people. I was too worried about so much and I couldn't give enough. So once I finally realized that, you know what, I'm not perfect and I am who I am and I'm pretty damn awesome. I started to actually love myself, even the crazy, stupid stuff that I was so insecure about growing up and whatever. And it's like, you know what, I'm pretty awesome and that's okay. I am unique, I'm different, I'm, whatever. So love yourself. And if I can give anybody advice, hold on, let me get really, let me get close.
Watch out.
Any girls out there, okay, who don't think that they're awesome and don't think that they're beautiful and don't think that they're special, seriously, stop there. You don't need to look for a relationship. You don't need to look for a person, a significant other, whatever. Stop there until you can actually love yourself for all that you are and everything that you are. You shouldn't be trying to find someone else. You need to love you first until you can fully give and be in that love that you need to be in. Honestly, take it from me. It's, yeah. And honestly, part of that self-love is actually thinking about what you really want in a relationship. I had never taken 2 seconds to even step back and think of what I wanted in a partner. I never knew I needed someone who was going to be, so driven forward and on this roller coaster ride of craziness to grow until I actually sat back and I'm like, oh, this is me. This is what I want. And it's boom, Scott appeared and he showed up and it was boom. Okay, awesome. But you got to take time to love yourself. And I don't freaking care how old you are. I don't care if you feel like you need to have this time clock of life or whatever. I don't even know what they call it, but biological clock. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is your life. We only have one life. Why would you speed up something that is so beautiful and so precious and so life-changing? I don't care if you're 40. I don't care if you're 50. I don't care if you're 60 freaking years old. If you want to spend time with yourself and get to know yourself and love yourself, do it. But that needs to happen first before you can even give your love to someone else. You need to love yourself first.
Well, I mean, Annette, it is hot here. It's very humid tonight, but I mean, it's still very nice outside. And for me, I struggled a lot of my life loving who I was, because I had this story that I used to play in my head that I was the nice guy. And in relationships, I was constantly overcompensating, and I was constantly apologizing. Whether I wanted to apologize or not, whether I felt I was wrong or I wasn't, I just was always saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I really, it's almost like, I mean, not to be like graphic, but it's like my balls didn't drop. Like I couldn't put my foot down and just really, love exactly who I was and all of my imperfections, and all that I was. And it's so funny, my sister's been such a big influence in my life. When after my first divorce, I would, I remember saying to Blair, who's going to want to be with a guy who's divorced? And she goes, you got to be kidding me. You're a catch. You're amazing. So the right woman is going to see past anything. They're going to see who you are right now. And then I was in another relationship, and then another relationship, and then I got divorced again, but this time I had a kid, and then I got into another relationship. And, I remember talking to Blair after all of this, and I'm like, all right, I'm twice divorced. I have a beautiful son from my second marriage. I said, now what, Blair? And she gave me the same answer that she gave me before. The right woman is not going to care how many times you got divorced, whether you have a kid or not. They are going to love you for you and everything that comes along with you, because I had to shift my story. My divorces, my relationships, my son, where some people viewed that as baggage, I saw that as my journey and my blessings, because I learned something about myself in every one of those relationships. And the fact that I have a son who is starting kindergarten tomorrow, we practiced baseball this afternoon, went food shopping together, and I get to experience all that with him. And now Nancy can be on that journey with me as a family. That's what loving yourself is all about. Like just fully loving you, because when you can love yourself and understand exactly who you are, that's when love is ready to show up. Most people that find themselves in and out of relationships or getting divorced, or it's just not working out, something always seems to go wrong, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just not loving yourself enough, because people can feel that. Like when you can love yourself enough to say, hey, no, I don't agree with you. Like I'm not disagreeing with you just to disagree with you. I just have a different view on this. Or not having to apologize for saying, you know what, you go do your open house today, and I'm just going to do this today. Having that compromise within the relationship, that's a team. That's how you know someone loves you for the journey that you're on and for the journey that you're on together, right?
Yeah, no, it's so true. And actually just want to set on there. So for some of you who are wondering like, oh, am I ready to like be in a relationship, or maybe, you got out of something.
What's that one song?
Brutal or whatever. But like, honestly, like for me, my like little popcorn timer my turkey timer like went off.
Turkey baster. No, you're right, turkey timer.
Yeah.
The baster is when you, totally.
No. Anyway,
gonna go over here.
Anyway, so no, like seriously, like mine went off for me, and I realized like I was ready whenever I was at peace with like being alone. I actually said to someone, I'm like, you know what? If I end up just being alone and being single because I haven't really found the right person, like, I'm okay with that. I've got my dogs, I've got my life, I'm happy. Like, I actually started to like realize like what truly made me happy. Dogs. It's okay. So anyway, like, until I actually realized that I was so comfortable with myself and I love being with myself and by myself and going to bed by myself and having my own time and my own things and everything, that's when I knew I was ready. Because honestly, I wasn't going to accept love or a relationship from anybody who didn't deserve to take away some of that time from my time, unless they were freaking awesome. So if you're wondering when that time is, it's that.
And just realize that the person that you end up with, I mean, it's you deserve each other. I pinch myself every single day that I was able to. It took me I've said this before. It took me 38 years to find her, but it was the right time. And it just, it's just so funny. It's been almost 9 months, and has it been almost 10 months? And like our friend Jody says, well, have you guys gotten into a fight yet or anything? And we like there's really not like there's like nothing to fight. Like we just have conversations, and whether I am the luckiest man alive, you're right. And it's just when you find that person that's so open and just so communicative, because it's out there for every single one of us. I don't care how old you are or how young you are. It's out there for all of us. So our second topic is self-confidence. And this is big. And this is her jam. I mean, I believe in it. Like this is her jam. So yeah. I'm gonna let her do most of the talking.
So if I were to entitle the last year and a half of my life, what my chapter would be entitled, it would be confidence. I realized that the whole, front half of my life leading up to this point, I felt like I was a confident person. Like I felt like, okay, even though I physically wasn't confident and relationship-wise I wasn't fully confident, I felt confident with work and I felt confident with other things, but I really wasn't until I literally started my own business. I took the dive and I went headfirst into something else that I actually did so much self-reflection. I'm like, wow, confidence is everything. And since I started really focusing on self-confidence and confidence in myself and in my leadership and in who I am and everything that I stand for, and I put my foot down and I actually make decisions and I know what I like, and whether it's flavors of ice cream or food or music or whatever, like I'm confident in what I like and what I want. And I will tell you, and this is something that if Tim gets on there, what does that say? Be confident. Okay, yeah. No, if Tim gets on here, Tim Baker, who is one of my mentors, like awesome, his whole message to me was like, look, the only thing you need to work on this year, he said, is confidence. He was like, you are so freaking awesome. You're like a genius. You know all this stuff. You're so smart.
Talk to the ladies right now. Tell them.
Like, seriously, like, okay, for all the women out there, right, who think like, oh, I've got this stretch mark. Oh, I've got pimples, or oh, I've got, my skin's not that great, or oh, I'm like aging, or oh, I'm this, or oh, my hair's not thick enough, or blah, blah, blah. All of that crap. Get rid of it, okay?
Just shit.
I will tell you that the most attractive thing in a person, I don't care how you are, like if you're fat, skinny, little, big bone, whatever, this, that, whatever, confidence is freaking sexy, okay? And even Tim said it. He was like the girl from Pitch Perfect, the bigger girl who they call Fat Amy in the movie. He was like, I think that's sexy because she's comfortable and confident in who she is. And so many women, and I'm sorry, I see a lot of like beautiful, gorgeous women, and women who might not be the most gorgeous on the outside, but their personalities and they're funny and they're whatever. God, just be confident and own it. It is so stinking attractive. I was telling Scott earlier, there was a girl who I actually went to school with like a long time ago, in high school. And she wasn't that, physically attractive. I mean, she was just, there was nothing like crazy, but she was so funny and she was so confident. And literally, she always had people around her and always had guys and everything. I can't emphasize this enough to all the women out there who are thinking, well, I don't have this, I don't have that, I, need this, or, oh, I got to wear makeup and I got to do what. I don't care. Like, own who you are. It all comes back to self-love. Own who you are. Be confident. Start embracing everything about you and move forward. Because quite honestly, like, if somebody doesn't love you and all those little things about you, like, you don't want their time anyway. That's the other thing to realize, right? Not everyone's going to love your vibe. Not everyone's going to love your shit, what you got going on, That's okay. I used to have this feeling that, like, I needed everybody to love me and like me and think I was attractive. And, like, not everyone is going to like you or love you or think you're attractive. Some people might be like, not my type, not my jam. That's okay. Women, if somebody turns you down or some guy doesn't show up for some date or somebody doesn't give you the love and attention that they need, who effing?
You could say.
Who fucking cares? Move on. Anyway, that was confident, sexy. Freaking be sexy.
And for all the guys out there, I mean, this is something that I lacked. I lacked confidence. Like, I was physically, I looked confident just in my body, but inside I was not. I would always get into a decision where I would get to a restaurant or, going out to dinner and, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Make a fucking decision. We get into a restaurant, like, I'm like, all right, we're gonna sit outside. Are you okay with sitting outside right now? Like, I'm not, what do you want to do? Do you want to sit outside? Do you want to sit outside? Just women, like all the ladies out there, type Y or yes in the chat box if you love nothing more than having a guy that is confident and in who he is, not only in feeling like you're protected, but knowing that man that you're with is so in tune with his own emotions that he can have an honest conversation with you and not say, yeah, well, whatever, and sit down and say, tell me how you're feeling. Tell me how you're feeling. What's going on?
Yes.
Why are you feeling this way? What do we need to work on? It's one of those things where I see so many guys really selling themselves short in the sense that they have more inside of them. You don't have to be an alpha male. Women aren't looking for that dude that will fuck anyone up, that messes with them. I mean, I would never let anything ever happen to her. But as much as the protection aspect of a relationship is sexy to a woman, it's just as sexy when their man can express to them how they're feeling. When I need to get something off my chest and I have to talk to Nancy, she appreciates that because I'm not holding it in. It's not getting morphed into, other types of energy where I'm being frustrated or kicking something over because I've held it inside. And exactly what Annette just said, she thinks that men just need to know it's okay. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to be confident in knowing that you can express your emotions openly without the fear of judgment by the person that you're with or anyone that's around you.
Yeah, and I'll say, that goes for women too, right? Like, if you're a guy and you want to express how you feel and you want to share feelings, and if somebody acts like an a-hole or treats you differently or whatever, like a dickhole, here's the thing. They might not be the right person. That's okay. Don't let one person crash your world. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I let, single people crash my world, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So number two, obviously number one, be sexy. Or be confident. It's sexy, but also be sexy. Number two, take charge.
Yep.
Self-confidence is all about taking charge.
Yeah. So, I'm not going to go on about it. Scott just talked about it, but, taking charge and putting your foot down and having to
step up.
Have opinions. I will say another thing, ladies, So guys, like, it is really funny, but I read a book on dating because I felt like, I mean, I was too much of a nice girl. Like, I would literally just be like, what do you want to do?
I was the
I'll do
nice
whatever.
guy.
I'll do whatever you want to do. Like, sure, you want to play video games for like 5 hours? Sure. That sounds great.
Do you
I mean,
like
my
video
brother,
games?
yeah, I know my brother. Like, I actually want to do that. But here's the thing. Like, I had no opinion. I didn't take charge of anything. I was just like so passive that, like, of course nothing could ever go wrong and relationships could go on forever because I was just like, so okay, like, go with the flow. But guess what? Inside, I was kind of hurting. I was like, we're not doing things that I want to do. I was always giving up and giving it to other people, and that's not their fault. It's not their fault because I never freaking put my foot down and actually said, you know what? I really love live music and I want to go out and I want to see a band tonight. Or, hey, I really love walking to the coffee shop. You know, let's go do that today. I love nature. Let's go for a hike. Like, but I wasn't putting my foot down, taking charge, and actually saying what I wanted. So that's the other thing, you know.
Yeah,
Charge.
I just think with taking charge, I think just people have to just cut the bullshit, cut the stories. You know, life is so short. Like, honestly, I mean, I always come back to this. Life is so short. You don't know when it's going to end. You know, we were driving home from my mom's dinner last night. We were driving on Kelly Drive, and there was this dude on a crotch rocket, like, and it's like 10 o'clock at night, and he's weaving in and out of traffic. And anyone that knows Kelly Drive, it's literally like this. And, like, you know, my like, he was coming up behind me, and I, like, was stopping short because you don't know, one wrong turn, one wrong anything, and your life has changed forever. And so many people, and, you know, Les Brown talks about it all the time. He says so many people, he goes, the graveyards around the world are full of lost dreams, aspirations, and greatness that people were afraid to let out inside of them. And that goes for your relationships. If you're just sitting back and letting yourself get steamrolled in your relationship, or you want to feel and you want to talk about how you feel in the relationship, take fucking charge and talk about it. You know, I see so many people that are absolutely miserable in their relationships by choice. It's almost like committing suicide in your relationship. You're just sucking it up. You know, you're just going to basically, you know, wait for the kids to go off to college. You know, 20 years has gone by and you're even more miserable. And then at that point, you tell yourself the story, well, I'm too old to even start over, so I'm just going to be alone for the rest of my life with my goldfish and turtle. And Carol says, one life, and this is definitely not a dress rehearsal. Absolutely. So take charge of your life. Take charge of your relationships with your family, with your friends, with yourself. No one's going to do it for you. Stop sitting back. Lean forward and take action. That's number 2. And number 3, which I love this one. So I'm going to let you go first because I have something I want to say about this. Control what you can actually control. You wrote it down.
No, I didn't.
Well, it was in our notes.
You go first, then.
All right, fine. So guys, here's, and Danielle said something great. People are afraid to say anything to rock the boat. Okay?
Okay.
Rock the boat.
And if you mean by, like, rock the boat, like, ooh, the relationship might fall apart, or that
might
person
end.
might dump me or whatever,
Go for it.
I'm going to say that F word. Fucking let it end.
Yeah.
Like, if you are that
Rock
on
it.
pins and needle, if people are, like, that close to dropping you like a hot potato, if you're, oh, if this date doesn't go well, fuck it. You don't want to be in that relationship anyway. And plus, you're probably saving time, years of your life, whatever. Like,
Just like Carol said, this isn't a dress rehearsal.
no.
Like, why would you stay in a relationship where you're afraid of rocking the boat or saying something? Don't be afraid to say anything ever. Say it.
And here's the thing: we're not talking about, like, running around and being a bunch of a-holes. You know,
Yeah,
like, we're not
being
talking about,
dickholes,
like,
just
whatever.
be honest with how you feel.
We're just saying, like, be confident, be whatever, you know. And here's the thing, okay? And I thought about this. The last comment Scott said. if you can't have open communication, because good relationships, right, are about being mature, about communicating, about actually like letting it out what's bothering you and not feeling like you're being made fun of or you're open. It's not a good relationship if you can't have that. Okay. And here's the thing. I always tell people, right? Like, you don't go right to divorce. You don't go like right to D-Town, right? Like, you don't do that, right? You go to counseling. And if the other person doesn't even want to go to counseling, doesn't want to meet you halfway and agree to go to counseling, it's a red flag, right? Like, number one. Number two is you go to counseling, you share your feelings, you talk about it, you come to some level playing field and some actionable items, and either that person or you guys work together on making it better, or it doesn't work.
And sometimes it not working is the best thing to happen.
Sometimes it's the best thing, right?
For everybody.
We all blessed, right? We all, like, our past relationships, again, like, I've learned everything. You know, I've learned so much from every relationship, and there's so much love and there's so much care and so much, like,
for all of it,
history, right? Like, there, and it's great. And again, it's like helped shape us into the people that we are now. And we wouldn't wish bad will on anybody, but honestly, thank God it didn't work out, you know? Thank God it didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it worked the way that it was supposed to. And those people are going to be better. And,
that's so interesting.
You're going to be better. And
people just walk out, or they say that, you know, they fell out of love. So we actually, we listen. So this goes back to the reptilian brain we were listening to. And, you know, the love that you have with someone, the in love that you have with someone, the first 2.5 years is different. In the first 2.5 years, the reptilian brain, you are to, you know, it hurts when you're not around that person. Like, you're literally in pain. And within 2.5 years, you know, that's when you have a family, you have kids, you're getting married. And then it goes into another phase of love. And it's not that you're not in love with that person, but the love just changes. It doesn't morph. It's just a different kind of love.
And guys, it's going to happen, right? You're going to get into a mode where, you know, right? Things aren't unpredictable anymore. Things aren't sexy. Things aren't surprising. I mean, things can still be sexy.
Yeah, but I feel that, not to cut you off, but I feel like when people fall out of love, it's not that they fell out of love. They stopped being a team. They stopped working on the relationship. They stopped working on themselves. It's almost like Groundhog's Day. They were doing the same thing each day. Nothing changed. Sex stopped. Dates stopped. Communicating stopped. So what's going to happen?
But then we stop communicating. We stop sharing our feelings. We bottle things up. We have resentment. We have all this stuff
and
that
it
just
snowballs.
forms. And then we stop paying attention to each other, and we stop doing whatever. If you can't sense these things happening, and you put a little, you know, all right, we need to do something, meaning we need to have a date night. We need to have a recalibration session. We need to go to therapy. We need to do whatever. Because like Scott said, after 2.5 years, which 2.5 years is typically the time it takes someone to actually court, have a baby. And then at that point, it's like, okay, whatever.
Now what?
It's a different kind of relationship at that point. After 2.5 years, things do need to change, and you do need to mold as people. I will say there's a red flag, and this is something I have no toleration for. And have I done it before? Yeah, I have. But it's something that I put my foot down and I will not do. I will not talk shit on my partner. I'm not going to talk shit on Scott. I'm going to respect him, and I'm going to communicate when I'm upset. And that's something that's new for me, because I haven't always been able to communicate.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we brought our families into our relationships, and then it's the truth, and then it causes our families to, because obviously
everybody vents to their family, and they're like, oh, this person's getting on my case, and without even like going to the source, right?
Which is your between partner. The two people.
But it's like, dude, it's two people. Like, let's say fast forward like 5 years, we're just people. Like, you know, it's exciting that we're together and that we found each other and we're able to grow and we're able to do so much. Like, why can't we just stop what we're doing and say, hey, let's talk. Let's actually have a conversation and let's, like, you know, hash this out like human beings.
Right at the beginning, when you would you look forward to going out and talking and having a real conversation, like it's all there. The only time things will change is if you allow them to change. You can keep this thing going forever. It doesn't have to. The sparks don't have to fly for just 2 months. The sparks can fly forever if you keep that spark lit. But, going back to controlling what you can control, there's only one thing that people can control in their lives. You can't control traffic. You can't control how a relationship is going to go. You can't control how someone's going to treat you. But what you can, this is the key. I mean, this might be very deep and just very, it's just very deep. The only thing that you can actually control are your thoughts and your feelings. You can control how you feel about something, about the relationship, because that thought, that feeling then leads to something else. So if you think about it, there's no way to control the relationship. But if there's something that has to be said, you have two options. You can choose to say something, or you can choose not to say something. That is your control. So then you have to say, well, if I say something, which is how I actually really feel, it's going to lead to this, that, or the other. But if I don't say anything, then something else might not happen. So in the end, each one of us individually within our relationships or just in our lives are in the driver's seat of controlling our life, because you can control every decision that you make. You can control every feeling, every emotion, every thought that comes into your mind. But it's up to you. No one else is going to decide any of that. So controlling what, my one of my first mentors, Jeffrey Combs, taught me that, people are constantly trying to control the things that they really can't control, because then when they would be out of control of the things that they're trying to control, they're trying to control. And it's like this, it's never going to happen. But you can control exactly how you feel, how you respond, how you think, and how you react. All of those things are absolutely under our own power and our own control. Next, third and final, and this is something that her and I are both big on, is self-care. We only have two things for this, right? Yes, self-care. So I want to talk about this one first, because I actually saw this on one of my good friends, Joanna and Mike Cavalcanti. If you guys are on here, hi. If not, go to their page, because Joanna posted a picture of her and Mike at the pool today near where they live. And they basically, got babysitters for their kids today. And their hashtag was date your spouse, date your partner. And I think what happens is when we get into a relationship, whether you're just dating, engaged, married, kids, whatever, you forget how to date. And it's so important that within the relationship, you take that time, whether it's once a week, once every other week, once a month, date the person that you're with. Go out to dinner, go to a movie, take a nice walk, do something for yourselves as a couple.
Yeah, no, I appreciate, every Sunday we try to go out to dinner or just kind of decompress from the week and kind of plan our upcoming week, and obviously talk about what we're going to talk about tonight, usually on our Sundays. But it's so much fun. I actually look forward to it. I got giddy today because I was like, yeah. And whether it's dinner or whether it's dinner at home or whether it's a picnic or one of my favorites, eventually we're going to do it, but I like to people watch, so I could just park it on a bench and that would be a cool date for me, and people watch. But anyway, moral of the story is date your spouse, spend time and really schedule a time to focus on each other.
Yeah. And number two and final, and this is really, really important, and I'm glad that we're ending with this, is be an individual in and out of the relationship. Be an individual in and out of the relationship. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, and I would say, so my stepdad said growing up, he was like, it's so incredibly important. Well, he said two things. One, he was like, never be with someone if you don't think there's someone you could marry. He said, don't waste their time, don't waste your time. And the second thing he always said was, you need to have your own thing, and they need to have their own thing. Mm-hmm. Meaning you can't lose your individuality and the things that make you tick and the person, giving them the respect to have their own thing.
What are some of your things? What does Nancy love?
I mean, I love playing music. I love listening to music. I mean, my music is way different than the music that he likes to listen to. I don't know what you listen to. No, I'm just kidding. But I love it. Like, right? Like, music is such a big, important thing in my life. And, I enjoy nature. I love being outside. I love animals, every single kind of creature. But there are certain things that, I love writing. Like, there are certain things that I really don't even fully know what, if Scott is interested in that or not. But these are things that I like to do, and I'm going to continue to make time to enjoy the things that I like, and I want him to do the same, because everybody, I don't care who you are, and guys and girls can be a little different. Like, sometimes girls might need a little more downtime or a little more time alone to kind of recharge. Like, I take a bath like every other night, because I need some downtime. I need to kind of have my own time to recharge. Scott's different, he might need or require less time, but everyone's different. And I think it's important that you still have the things and you don't lose sight of those things that make you an individual, and having the confidence to say, you know what, I'm going to go to Barnes & Noble today because I'm going to read some books because that's what I like to do. I don't care if you like it or not, but that's what I'm going to do. So I think it's just important that you still hold true the things that make you happy and, the things that make you an individual.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to, in a relationship, people forget that you lose yourselves in the relationship. All the passions and all the things that you loved before when you were by yourself, they don't have to stop. You can still continue those hobbies. You can continue those things that you love with or without your partner. They don't have to come.
Yeah, and you know what?
They don't.
I was going to say, like, sometimes I hear about couples who are like, their spouse, whether it's a wife or a husband, is like, no, you can't do that, or you can't go out and, do draft, football drafts or whatever.
It was the Ryan Seacrest thing. Remember, like, how the girl, she had to go everything where he had to go everywhere.
I don't know what it is, but that's not a healthy relationship. But, like, the thing is if you're encountering that, right, where you're not able to do certain things that make you happy, like, and again, you're in a trusted relationship, you communicate, whatever, but, like, if you can't go do something that makes you very happy and it gives you a chance to recharge and whatever, honestly, I would sit down. Like, if Scott was like, no, I want to come, or no, I would sit down and I would say, Scott, this is me time. I need to do this. I need to take a minute.
No, there's times where she says, I'm going to go to the farm this weekend and spend some time with my mom and my sister. So, you can meet up on Sunday and we can have like a big family dinner, but I want to spend a couple days with my mom and my sister. And I'm like,
it's okay.
Good, go.
Yeah.
Go do you. Go,
yeah.
go be with your family. I'm not going to say, that's bullshit, I should be going too. I'm going to be like, no, go.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it was really fun. I told him the other day I wanted to go have pho. And I'm addicted. It's pho or pho or whatever.
It's funny, right?
It's so stinking good. It's food. It's Vietnamese, like, soup. But anyway, I was like, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to do this. And literally I popped my headphones in, talked to my mom. I had some pho. I enjoyed food.
Hey, Victor.
It was phenomenal. But, that stuff's important. And I know with people with kids and, I look at, like, family, I look at people who have kids, and I get it. Things get a little tougher. Your schedule gets a little more crammed and you got little guys that you got to focus on, but really take care of yourself. And when you feel yourself like getting so overwhelmed and you need a minute to recalibrate,
take a step back,
recalibrate, tell your significant other, you just need a minute.
Yeah.
Everything's okay, but you kind of need to, like, kind of need to do your thing for a minute.
No, perfect example. I walked into the bedroom the other night and she was going through something with, like, her schedule or her work, and she just turned around and she goes, can you just give me 10 minutes? And I turned right around and I went right out of the room. And, like, where like maybe the old me would have said, what's wrong? Let's just talk. No, like, when a woman says, just give me 10 minutes, you get the fuck out of the room as quick as you can. So I did, and I came back outside, and then she did whatever she was doing in there, came out, and everything was fine. So guys, we love doing these. If there's any specific topics, relationship, personal, business, anything wise, you would like us to speak about, drop them in the comment section below, either on here live or after when you're watching the replay. Those that have stayed on here with us, thank you so much. And for even if you just popped on and off, we thank you too, and on the replay. And just remember, you have to love you first to let anyone else into your life. Put yourself first. Have the self-confidence to be sexy, knowing that you're perfectly imperfect just the way that you are, and always take care of you first. Guys, thank you as always. Happy Sunday. Have an amazing, amazing week ahead. This is the last week of the summer, which is crazy.
Yes.
For all the moms and dads having their kids starting back at school tomorrow, congratulations. But also, hope everyone has a very happy, healthy start to the school year tomorrow. We love you, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.